Just after 9:30, welcome back to BT Vancouver. Canada's Deputy Prime Minister opened today's daily briefing in Ottawa. She spoke directly to seniors across Canada.
To our elders, our aunts and uncles, our mothers and fathers, our grandparents. I've been thinking about you a lot. You raised us. You built our amazing country. Now you are staying inside and you are physically separated from your loved ones. I know that this is really hard, and I want you to know that we love you very much. And we are doing everything in our power to keep you safe.
This is a frustrating time as we continue with strict public health measures while waiting for signs of improvement. So far, thanks to all the efforts of Canadians, the health system in Canada is coping, and we need to keep it this way. There are areas where the virus has been the most active, like Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal, but these areas are managing too.
And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Ottawa has made a deal to get medical equipment to Canadian provinces and territories much faster.
For the past few weeks, our government has been working closely with industry to produce the supplies our healthcare workers need, like masks, face shields, gowns, ventilators, and test kits. Well, today I can announce that our government has signed an agreement with Amazon Canada to manage the distribution of this equipment to the provinces and territories.
And taking you to Florida now, a nightmare for more than 200 Canadians stranded aboard 2 cruise ships is almost over. After 2 weeks at sea, 2 Holland America cruise ships finally docked in Florida last night. A coronavirus outbreak prompted Florida officials to deny the vessel's entry. 4 elderly passengers died on one of the ships. Dozens of people had symptoms of the virus. Asymptomatic passengers have been allowed to disembark and go home. The critically ill passengers were taken to a local hospital. Those with mild symptoms will remain quarantined on the ships until they recover. BC's provincial health officer is asking people to please forego non-essential travel to smaller communities in our province for now. Our David Zura joins us from the Tawasin Ferry Terminal with more on this. And David, judging by the empty parking lot, it appears people are getting the message.
That's exactly right, Mary. The parking lot, we can just kind of swing over, is completely empty. There's absolutely no one here. Our cars are some of the only ones that are here. The lineup to actually get on the ferry is very, very short. And the shuttle buses that have been coming in to either drop people off or take people away have been completely empty. They just roll in and they roll out with nobody on them. Now, this is something that we've been seeing all throughout the morning. We were able, however, to find one man waiting to pick someone up in his car who was coming off one of those ferries.
So everybody stays on their cars, who travel by cars, and on fit passengers there are so few of them that it doesn't make big difference. And crew is cleaning up all the surfaces all the time.
Not just ferry travel, like anything, any public transit in general, like everyone's so in close quarters and it's just a lot of people in the same place. So yeah, obviously it's going to worry me.
Absolutely, we need to do better at a governmental level. But let's be clear. And especially, this is especially clear now, the Government of Canada and Foreign Affairs Canada is going through an extraordinary process to help Canadians to come home. And there is no excuse. The excuse of whether people were adequately contacted at the airport or not is not an excuse for people not to comply with the order. They have to self-isolate for 14 days when they come back from outside.
Now, we had been hearing some reports of people who were going off to some of the smaller communities as a way to get away from the pandemic, which at the surface doesn't seem like a bad idea. But the reason officials are concerned about that is because these smaller communities are concerned that they don't have the medical resources. There's a photo here that was taken in Galliano a couple of weeks ago, and essentially asking any tourists or non-essential visitors to go home and to essentially avoid coming until the end of the pandemic. And it says right there in small print right at the top, we have limited medical medical services. So that's just the concern there, that if the pandemic is brought over to some of the smaller communities, which have been largely spared so far, that they may not be as equipped to deal with that. But so far over here at the ferry terminal, very, very quiet. It seems like most people are getting the message.
I know Quadra Island and Tofino have also sent out the same message to tourists as well. So thank you for that, David. It is 9:38 here on Breakfast Television. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, a number of scams are beginning to spread. Mike Yanni explains.
There must be a special place in hell for people like that.
Well, that special place must be filling up as scammers across the country and the globe take advantage of those self-isolating from COVID-19. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre says it's being inundated with calls with reports of scams, many related to fake medical gear. Face masks, gloves, sanitizers offered for sale online. Here's the problem. In many cases, the gear just doesn't exist. You pay for it, and, well, that's the last you hear about it. If you do receive it, there's a good chance it's expired or it's counterfeit. Nothing but cheaply made replicas, or in the case of hand sanitizers, colored water. And then there are these, home kits used to test for COVID-19. Health Canada is making it very clear there are no home kits approved for home testing as of yet. They are all fake and a quick way to part you with your money. And it's not just Canadians being targeted. The FBI just last week sent out a warning to hospitals and healthcare centres about new vendors popping up offering medical equipment. And as for those home testing kits, well, they first appeared in China 1 week after COVID-19 first appeared. The Canadian Border Service Agency has already confiscated home testing kits on their way into our country. And while Canadian companies are looking at bringing legitimate kits to market, those are still a few weeks away and will be approved by Health Canada. Until then, the best bet is to hold on to your money. And remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. For City News, I'm Mike Yanni.
Okay, great tips. Thank you so much, Mike. If you are a business owner and you're looking for a way to help during this pandemic, here's how. Give a Hand Vancouver is soliciting businesses and organizations to donate materials and services, items like medical supplies, cleaning products, or food to help with the COVID-19 response. This is being run by the City of Vancouver. The program takes its name from the nightly 7 p.m. cheer for healthcare professionals and frontline workers. If you're interested, check out giveahandvancouver.ca. All right, it is 7:40 now on Breakfast Television. We're going to go to Russ Lacate, who is outside of his home in Surrey. Good morning, Russ.
Good morning to you, Mary. We're sort of in between some of the cold showers moving on through right now, and I think that the